Mandalorian season 3 trailer is
That's
here
a hot
and upon
topic.
us.
That's the hot topic right now. Exciting stuff. I mean, what's the date? March 1st, I think is the or is
The
it
premiere, yeah, I think it's March 1st. I don't know. I
yeah,
mean,
March
honestly,
1st.
they've changed it so many times. I'm just losing track, and I don't know
I
what
am
to
too.
trust.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's March 1st though. Yeah. So I think it's finally here. The new trailer comes out. Awesome, amazing. But you and I were just talking about this. We've had the wind taken out of our sails with this a couple times, and we've had to wait like a really long time since season 2. So I don't know. I'm just kind of like, bring it here already. Just show me the episodes. I want to watch.
it's kind of like the hype doesn't hit for it until it's here. I feel the same thing with Bad Batch. Is like I was not like hyped for Bad Batch until Bad Batch started premiering because
Yeah.
again, it's been so long. It's almost been 2 years. Yeah, it's been about 2 years since the last Bad Batch season. And so with like Mando, we're coming up on like 3 years. It's like I'm not gonna really feel that hype until we actually get there and the episodes start
Yeah.
premiering. And I'm sure it'll kick in, but why don't we watch the trailer real quick and then we'll briefly
Yeah.
talk about it? I don't think that there's too much to talk about there, but
Yeah, I think
like
it's a
let's
lot
just
of the
get into
stuff
it.
we've talked about in the past. But yeah, let's watch it. We should watch it again.
Our people are scattered, like stars in the galaxy. What are we? What do we stand for? Being a Mandalorian's not just learning about how to fight. You also have to know how to navigate the galaxy. That way, you'll never be lost.
I hate those things.
I know. They're so creepy. They used to freak me out when I was a kid.
I'm going to Mandalore so that I may be forgiven for my transgressions.
May the Force be with you!
This is the way.
There's
Okay, there it
something
is.
dangerous happening out there. And by the time it becomes big enough for you to act, it'll be too late.
Hang on, kid.
I love those guys.
This is the way.
Oh my god, that soundtrack is so good though.
It's so good. It's so good. I thought the same thing. That's one of the main things that stands out to me in this is like it's already become an iconic soundtrack for any TV show, I think.
It's so good. Like the second, like the entire trailer was like, oh, this looks like really fun. And then by the time that theme kicked in, I was like, okay, like that gets me a little excited. So I am looking forward
Yeah.
to that. So there are a couple shots I want to talk about here because I think, like you and I discussed before we started the show, it's a lot of the same stuff. I think that they're trying to keep everything really close to the chest just because that's very Dave Filoni and very Jon
Yeah.
Favreau. We want to save any surprises until you watch the show, which I really appreciate as a viewer because it makes the whole viewing experience a lot of fun. But I think the two shots in here that are really worth talking about is this Coruscant shot,
Yep.
which I assume is Coruscant. That is Coruscant, right?
100%. Yeah, definitely.
I was like, unless they're doing something else that looks very obviously Coruscant to me. So I'm really excited that they're going back there. So maybe we're going to see how the New Republic functions because this is 5 years
Yeah.
after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
wondering if we're going to get some politics and cloning conversations because that scientist guy.
I hope so,
is
because this is an
in the
element
shot.
of Star Wars that like
happening out there.
I'm super interested in seeing is more about like what happened afterwards. And like Coruscant is one of my favorite planets. I think it's really cool. It adds so much more to the Star Wars universe. And if we're able to visit there and have some more politics stuff or just show what's been going on there, since it is like the center of the galaxy or like capital or whatever, I'm always a fan of more Coruscant. So I'm definitely excited for this too.
Yeah, and that scientist guy is there.
Yeah,
the
scientist guy, Camino guy, yeah.
Yeah, the
so like,
Camino
what's
guy.
he up to? He might play a bigger part than we thought when we watched Mandalorian season 1.
So I think this is where the cloning aspect comes back in because you can see the same kind of scientist is in the Bad Batch. So that's what I mean when I
right.
say that there's going to be story overlap.
I
You
hope
know?
so, because I think that was a little bit of a missed opportunity with the Book of Boba Fett for me. I know we've talked about this before, but like Connecting the Book of Boba Fett more with Bad Batch, I think,
Yeah.
would have been cooler. Like adding an element of Omega or something like that. I think they could have done something there. But any kind of intertwining of these stories together, I'm a fan of. I love. So I think you're correct. We'll probably get some more of that.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how they tie in the cloning storyline, because there was a lot of creepy stuff set up in Mando season 2 regarding the cloning. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Some good hints. Some like major hints.
Yeah, some major hints. The other major hint that we got is this shot of the Jedi Temple. Who saved Grogu? And it looks like we're going to get this answer during this season. What is interesting to me about this shot is I went and I did my research, and the Jedi on the left with the green lightsaber kind of looks like and I had to look up his name because I didn't know his name. Kind of looks like the Jedi that Anakin fights in the hologram when Obi-Wan's watching.
Yep. I thought the same thing. I thought this could potentially be that scene because there is like 4 of them, and in that hologram security footage tape, he's fighting several of them. So I totally agree. It could be that, but it could be something else. They could be using a tool that's not a lightsaber to cut through this door. I just want to throw that out there. I don't think that's super likely, but it is a possibility that maybe it's clones using some kind of like mechanism to cut down the door.
Dude, how sick would that be if it was Anakin?
I think it probably is. If we're being honest, and we know Filoni, and he loves to do Order 66 stuff, and obviously we know Hayden Christensen's back in business, and I think they're gonna, since he's now invested in it with the Obi-Wan show, I think they're gonna try to use him as much as possible, which I think is a fantastic move if they do that, even if it's for just a minute or two here. We know he's coming back for the Ahsoka show. If we have him in this for even 30 seconds, I'd be like, really, really good use of that character and actor.
Well, it would be. It'd be like having Luke all over again. Because the thing that I love about Dave Filoni and just the way he approaches stories is he doesn't use characters unless they serve the story. Like, he won't bring in any big characters unless he's like, are they actually playing a part in what the story has to say? So if Anakin comes in, it's like, oh, you know that there's an essential storyline here with Grogu and how Grogu got out and who saved him and how did Anakin know of his existence, you know, when he was Darth Vader? And it just brings up a lot of questions. And so, like, this shot by itself is, like, enough to get me super pumped up.
Same. I totally agree. And I think, I mean, I don't know how long this scene is, but we could get some, just theorizing here, we could get some really cool nuggets. For example, maybe Anakin comes in, he defeats them all, he sees Grogu and spares his life for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe Grogu defeats him somehow with some kind of force power, or stops him for long enough to where he can escape and get away through some other Jedi coming in and saving him. We don't really know, but I think they're going to explore that a bit more in this season. I think we'll get way more answers to who Grogu is and how he got out of there. And this is probably the scene where we find that out. We might not. It might just be a quick snippet of Anakin fighting them, and it's like a flashback that Grogu has. But I think it'd be interesting if maybe he came face to face with Anakin or Vader in this circumstance.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy. And I think that it might not be what we think it is. You know?
Yeah. You have to fully expect it to be something that you don't expect.
Because
you know
Ahsoka,
I mean?
Ahsoka says to Mando, she's like, someone took him from the temple, and after that, his memory goes dark. And so she's like, I can't access it anymore. Like, she's like, I can't read his mind. She's like, I can only see so far as to what he saw, but I can't see beyond what happened after he was taken. So it's like, oh, okay, so did somebody wipe his mind? Like, what happened there? Like, why can't we see further into his future? So it's just
trauma response.
It's a PTSD response, but
Yeah.
probably it might be. But I just think, I don't think this is going to go the way we think it's going to go. And
I agree.
that has me really excited. Last thing, I think, because a lot of these shots, I think, were, I mean, the storyline, we have Din going to Mandalore to pay for his transgressions.
Yep.
Is this going to be like a Mines of Moria thing where he goes through and it's like this desolate and creepy Mandalore, and like, what does that even look like? Like, how do you pay for your transgressions? Like,
Right. I don't know, like, it's some kind of journey. I guess he has to, like, it's a thing in the Mandalorian code, I guess. Can you go to that shot where it shows, like, the ruins of Mandalore? Can you find that real quick? Mm-hmm. There was something
like, right
interesting
here.
I thought of, and I don't know if there's anything to this at all, but there was just one thing that came to mind after you pull up the shot, and I'll tell you what, like, where my mind immediately went. This one right here.
this is so Lord of the Ringsy.
It is. this is weird. I don't know if there's any connection here or anything like that, but it kind of, to me, looks like the lost city of Atlantis.
Oh.
If you look at the lost city of Atlantis, it is, and like drawings of it and what it was supposed to have looked like, it's like it's a circle just like this. It's like a big circle, and then there's like a circle within it with like water in between, and there's like circles within the circles.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anything to that, but I don't know, maybe that's kind of something similar, like he's going to find this kind of lost, forgotten city, right, and try to find out more about himself and his own, and pay for his transgressions, and look more into his past and what being a Mandalorian actually means. I don't know if there's anything there. It's just that's the first thought that came to my mind. I was like, oh, it kind of looks like renderings of the lost city of Atlantis.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm very curious as to what that kind of spiritual journey is. You know, like what does he have to go through? He does
a lot of yoga. They put him in a sauna. He has to do like a peace pipe ritual, and has to climb a mountain or something. I don't know.
Do you think he has to fight the Minotaur or something?
Yeah. Maybe that's what that guy is that Grogu beats in the cave. Maybe some
It's
Greek
the
mythology things. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's going through a labyrinth. That's also what this could be, a labyrinth. It
like could be a labyrinth. I am just excited. I'm excited to get into what a destroyed Mandalore looks like. We're all familiar with it in the Clone Wars, but I want to see. It's going to be so cool to see Mandalore in live action, and B, like, is it creepy? Like, what are there people still like residing in it because they've been like fearful of the Empire all these years, or they came back and they hid because the Empire forgot about it? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of cool questions here. So I think this shot is awesome, and it reminds me so much of Lord of the Rings. That was like my first
cinematic.
thought. Mm-hmm.
And this whole trailer looks very cinematic, which I love. I think that's great. I love that in TV shows. So I'm hoping that's the energy they're projecting through this, and I hope that that's actually what it ends up being. Yeah, some good stuff here all around. A lot of it's stuff that we've seen in the first trailer. Or the one that
these little Babu Frick
These
characters.
Guys and Zelen, whatever they're called, the little Babu Fricks.
The little Babu. The only thing I remember from The Rise of Skywalker, I saw it once and I was like, this is a terrible film. I'm never watching this again. The only thing I remember is the little ha-ha this guy did in like the middle of the movie when he's fixing 3PO.
I think he's a fan favorite. I think Babu Frick stole everyone's hearts. He's great.
I gotta pull up that sound at some point. But
I did watch that movie on a plane like 6 months ago just to give it another shot because I'd only seen it once too. And I wish I hadn't have watched it a second time.
Look, it's better than The Last Jedi, but it's still not good.
Yeah, I think it goes Force Awakens, Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi in terms of ranking. Force Awakens had potential. Like, it wasn't the worst movie in the world. The ending was horrible. The fact they didn't have Luke in it at all, except for the end, was horrible. But like, it set up I was like, all right, I'm interested in what they could do something really interesting with the next movie. Like, I thought Finn becoming a Jedi. I'm like, that's a really really idea. Like, a
he is the best. He carries.
And
those
then
movies.
they just threw him in the garbage, and you're like, I mean, everyone agrees with this, but what a wasted character he was.
Yeah, Finn, I watched the scene. This is a side tangent, but I watched the scene where Rey and Finn meet for the first time, and Finn's just really likable. He's really charming. He's easy to like. Like, his characterization is super fun. He's got like the classic Star Wars vibe, and they just did nothing with him.
He's the best out of the new characters, in my opinion. I think he had the most potential. He's the most interesting. I think he fit into the universe the best, and they just, I don't know. They did him dirty, in my opinion.
Yes, they did him absolutely filthy. But this is a great trailer to bring it back to Mando. I'm really pumped up about this. Again, they didn't really reveal a whole lot. They're keeping it close to the chest, but I appreciate that because that to me is good storytelling, to like let your viewer experience it for the first time with fresh eyes instead of revealing everything in the trailer. So it looks like it'll be very promising. I'm very excited. We have 1 month. It's so exciting.
And we'll be on a busy schedule for content, you and I.
Oh my God. I don't know how it's going to be insane. Because those episodes are going to be like 45 minutes each, right? 45 minutes to like an hour?
I don't know. Maybe, but that's what I thought was going to happen with Obi-Wan too. And there was one like 27-minute episode in Obi-Wan, and I was like,
they were pushing 23 with that show. Yeah. Anyway, it looks great. I don't excited know. For Mando.
I'm excited for it too. This is Filoni and Favreau's bread and butter. They've done a great job so far. The second season is one of my favorite seasons of television, like ever, I think. And so I can only assume season 3 is just going to be better. And hope. I mean, like we talked about last time, like they've put it off for a while, but Hopefully that's a good thing. It means they're just making sure that it's high quality.
It'll be a good time, and I'm just looking forward to having it back. I've missed it so much.